Triple H and Shawn Michaels are reportedly looking to send a message to Tony Khan tonight as NXT goes head-to-head with AEW Dynamite, with the Tuesday night fight set to begin later on this evening. Details on that, plus Tony Khan has responded to the article suggesting that Triple H and Shawn Michaels are looking to send a message to him with a pretty interesting response. CM Punk reportedly is not in talks with WWE over a potential return to the company. We got an update on the ratings for last Saturday's episode of AEW Collision that went head-to-head with WWE Fastlane. There are rumours that the Valkyrie Dream has been spotted at the Performance Center. Details on that and a possible WWE return, plus an update on the current creative involvement of Triple H and Vince McMahon in WWE. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. And let's start off talking about tonight. NXT versus AEW Dynamite, head-to-head, same time slots, same first 30 minutes being commercial-free, same overrun as well. Certainly two stacked shows. A reminder, we will be live for a watch-along and a post-show this evening, so be sure to join us. But let's start off with the news coming in that NXT's heads, that being Shawn Michaels and the previous executive producer for NXT, Triple H, are looking to send a message to Tony Khan tonight with what they perceive and what they hope to be a strong ratings victory. Paul, Triple H, Levesque, and Shawn Michaels and NXT are pulling out all the stops tonight as they go head-to-head with AEW Dynamite, titled Tuesday. Already announced for the yellow and black brand is a blockbuster main event featuring Carmelo Hayes with John Cena in his corner taking on Bron Breakker with Paul Heyman in his. As if that wasn't enough, Cody Rhodes will be making a special announcement on the show. Asuka will return to take on Roxanne Perez, and there are also teases of The Undertaker making an appearance on the show. Now, Nick Hausman of House of Wrestling spoke with a fired-up WWE source close to NXT this morning, who said tonight will be a, quote, very clear example of how and why WWE is WWE and why AEW has a long way to go, end quote. They discussed how they felt AEW had been lulled into a false sense of reality and they were somehow an industry leader by continuing to beat WWE's number 3 brand in viewership. It also sounds as if there were lingering tensions from the infamous Wednesday Night War, with the idea that Tony Khan could have run Dynamite on Thursdays and the two would never have gone head-to-head. With Levesque now squarely back in control of WWE Creative, which we'll touch on later on in the show, and Michaels taking pride in being the best, it was said that Khan, quote, poked the wrong ones at the wrong time, end quote. The fact this is all happening on Khan's 41st birthday was also pointed out to Nick Hausman, with it sounding like WWE NXT is fine spoiling his party. Now, regarding creative for tonight's episode of NXT, Nick Hausman was told to expect some great storytelling intended to shine up some of the younger talents by utilizing the main roster. So that certainly got a lot of people talking, that the reports were, according to House of Wrestling, that Triple H and Shawn Michaels wanted to send a message to Tony Khan with a resounding defeat of AEW Dynamite tonight in total viewership and the ratings. And Tony Khan responded how you would expect him to respond on social media. He responded by putting out the following tweet that you can see on the screen right now. He said, quote, I have a message for them in response to this article. See you tonight at a special Tuesday night AEW Dynamite title fight Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on TBS. At least the first 30 minutes are commercial free and a big overrun tonight. He also then posted a photo that said bold asshole. Now, was he referring to Triple H? Was he referring to Shawn Michaels? Was he referring to both, who both are sporting a lack of hair nowadays? What are your thoughts on Tony Khan's response? What are your thoughts on also Triple H and Shawn Michaels looking to send a message to Tony Khan going head-to-head with AEW Dynamite tonight as well? Now, several other people have opened up about going head-to-head tonight between NXT and AEW Dynamite. Now, Adam Copeland, of course, formerly of WWE, now of AEW, has shared his honest thoughts on the stacked head-to-head between AEW Dynamite and NXT tonight. With Dynamite taking place Tuesday this week after a scheduled change, the AEW show will be going up against NXT for the first time in a while following their previous Wednesday night wars back and forth. Both AEW and WWE have made sure that the cards for their respective shows are stacked, with Adam Copeland set to make his AEW in-ring debut on Dynamite against Luchasaurus, and the likes of John Cena, Cody Rhodes, Asuka, and others set to appear on NXT. Speaking on the Masked Man show, Copeland noted that it's an exciting time for wrestling fans. Aiming to do his best to make the segments all killer, no filler, Copeland said, quote, "Who cares? I'm only this guy, I'm only this guy. This is awesome. How can you not enjoy the fact that both shows are trying to load up and trying to put on the best show imaginable? That's all I really care about. I'll try and make sure that my part of the show is all killer, no filler. That's my only job. I'm sure both will get watched when it's all said and done with DVR and however else it gets computed. Since everything with ratings is so antiquated, it's fun. I remember flicking back and forth between Nitro and Raw. That's kind of what this is. I don't see that as a bad thing at all. I think it's great. The performers themselves, there is none of this weird tribalism. Within any industry, sure there is competition, but I'm happy for those guys and they're happy for us. When there are choices and there is another company that can push the other company, that's when you get the best stuff." So Adam Copeland Edge is saying that, hey, I'm very happy with the back and forth and going head to head, and it's a great time to be a pro wrestling fan. Now, Asuka has also commented on her NXT appearance ahead of going head to head with AEW Dynamite tonight. This week's episode of NXT is amongst the most highly anticipated ever, as WWE, as I mentioned, has stacked the show with names like John Cena, Cody Rhodes, Paul Heyman, Asuka himself, even seemingly The Undertaker as well. As I mentioned, on the women's side of things, the longest reigning NXT Women's Champion, Asuka, is set for a return to the brand as she takes on fellow former NXT Women's Champion in her own right, Roxanne Perez. Sending a message to the Prodigy ahead of their scheduled bout, Asuka jumped on Twitter to issue a confident warning to her challenger, saying, quote, "Living legend will teach Roxanne Perez how to drive on the ring point." Now, Asuka has never once tasted defeat in NXT, with her title reign only ending due to her relinquishing the championship ahead of her jump to the WWE main roster. So it remains to be seen, will Asuka taste her first sense of defeat tonight on NXT against Roxanne Perez? Let me know your thoughts and predictions about that as well. Now, to sort of counteract the big card that WWE's put together, of course, WWE first announced that NXT's first 30 minutes were going to be commercial free. Then AEW announced that their first 30 minutes were going to be commercial free. And to try and top that, Tony Khan then announced that a special buy-in will take place 30 minutes before Dynamite goes on the air, with Eddie Kingston facing off against Minoru Suzuki in a double title match. Eddie Kingston is set to defend the Ring of Honor World Championship and New Japan Strong Openweight Championship against Minoru Suzuki on a special buy-in pre-show before the broadcast of Dynamite Title Tuesday this evening. Now, AEW CEO Tony Khan announced the news on social media as Dynamite prepares to go head-to-head with NXT. The special buy-in pre-show will air for free across various platforms, including X, Facebook, and YouTube at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 30 minutes before Dynamite airs on TBS. Kingston's most recent defense of both the Ring of Honor World Championship and New Japan Strong Openweight Championship came at the inaugural Wrestle Dream pay-per-view on October 1st, where he defeated Katsuyori Shibata. He successfully retained the Ring of Honor World Championship against Commander on AEW Collision this past Saturday. In addition to that news, Khan also revealed yesterday that the first 30 minutes of Dynamite will be commercial-free. As I mentioned, it's certainly a big match, and it's going to be very exciting. How do you think this one's going to go? And do you think this is going to help AEW as they go head-to-head against NXT tonight? Let me know your thoughts about that. And as I mentioned before, another reminder, you can join us live for a watch-along of both shows at the same time. You don't even have to worry about channel flipping. We're going to be watching both at the same time, plus doing a post-show afterwards, so be sure to join us live. The stream is already set up, so you can set your reminders for later on too. Now, CM Punk. Now, lots been going on regarding CM Punk and a lot of speculation about CM Punk. Another day, more CM Punk news. Now, WWE Fastlane came and went without Triple H actually being asked, surprisingly, about CM Punk at the post-show press conference. But Fightful are told that as far as people have heard from him, CM Punk is not planned for a WWE return. Fightful spoke with those high up in WWE that any reports of CM Punk signing with WWE are completely false. And additionally, as of today, October 10, the claim internally is that WWE is not in conversations with CM Punk about a comeback. There were several in the company that wanted to make that clear for fans expecting to see him at Survivor Series this year. As with anything in wrestling, things change, but WWE sources are adamant that as of now, the two sides are not in talks. Now, Fightful reported that Punk had feelers talking to people within WWE about how it should be approached. One source close to Punk told Fightful they believe that to be accurate, and from what they've heard, Punk was waiting to see if indeed they would approach him. When reaching out to Punk last week, Fightful has not said that they haven't heard back regarding their attempts to contact him. Several talent outright asked those in power about the possibility and rumors of Punk to WWE this week, and they were told that as things stand, he wasn't coming back to the company at this time. Now, for those asking, Fightful did press sources on the numerous teases or things that could be perceived as CM Punk teases. The higher-up and top WWE talent said they're sure that most of them are not cleared beforehand and might be wrestlers doing it themselves, with WWE talent saying they might even be doing it to get under CM Punk's skin. Obviously, as a reader, as a listener, you're up to your interpretation as to whether or not you believe that. But to reiterate, these are claims within WWE, and they include by higher-ups as far up the food chain as things go. Plans change, negotiations happen, etc. But as of right now, Fightful Select's big report this evening is that no, CM Punk has not signed to come back to WWE. In fact, they're not even in talks to even return to the company, but things could change, but that's the status as of right now. Now let's talk about AEW Collision, the former show that was centered around CM Punk in All Elite Wrestling. And the October 7, 2023 edition of AEW Collision was the first episode of the program following the inaugural AEW Wrestle Dream pay-per-view. On top of the Collision debut of Adam Copeland, the show also saw Ricky Starks and Big Bill get a major upset win over FTR, dethroning them of the AEW World Tag Team Championships in the process. Other notable happenings included Eddie Kingston defending the Ring of Honor World Championship over Commander, and the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn successfully defending the AEW World Trios Championships against the Iron Savages. Our Sports TV Ratings reports that the direct competition from WWE Fastlane, despite going up against that, the show actually performed better than last week's edition of Collision, which went head-to-head with NXT No Mercy and garnered the lowest viewership in the show's history. Specifically, this past edition of Collision drew an average of 353,000 viewers, with 120,000 of those in the 18 to 49 demographic. Now, that is a modest 8% increase in total viewership and a 13% increase in the 18 to 49 demographic versus last week's episode. Now, WrestleNomics provided further context in their quarter-hour report for the show. The show's total viewership peaked in its 8th and final quarter hour, which featured the end of Eddie Kingston versus Commander for the Ring of Honor World Championship, as well as Adam Copeland's promo with 418,000 average total viewers. However, the 18 to 49 demographic peaked during the first quarter hour at 135,000 on average, which featured Ricky Starks and Big Bill winning the AEW World Tag Team Championships from FTR. Interestingly, the biggest increase in both total and 18 to 49 viewership came during the show's fifth quarter hour, which featured the AEW World Trios Championship defense as well as a video package for Timeless Tony Storm. Total viewership increased by a whopping 20% during this quarter, whilst the 18 to 49 demographic went up an increasingly impressive 23% as well. So those are the ratings for Collision. Is it what you would expect given the fact that they went up against Fastlane? But still, is it not good numbers for the primetime show, Saturday Night Live show on TNT? Now, there's a strange rumor going around this afternoon/this evening regarding the Valkyrie Dream possibly going back to WWE. Twitter account BWE claimed the Valkyrie Dream has been going through therapy and progressing well, and in fact, he had visited the WWE Performance Center, and while he's not signed, he was there reportedly last night. Thus far, Fightful Select are reporting they've not been able to confirm any of those details outside of the fact that he is not signed by the company. When speaking to a higher-up in WWE, they stated that they have no interest in re-signing Patrick Clark, also known as the Valkyrie Dream, at this time, and something very shocking would have to take place for something like that to happen. Dream had numerous infractions, issues, and controversies while in NXT, from being accused of filming fellow wrestlers in the bathroom without their consent, arrests, accusations of recklessness in matches, wellness violations, and the like. Fightful say that they have spoken to a dozen sources who frequent the WWE Performance Center. Quote, "I haven't seen him around. I haven't heard anything from anybody about him being around. I'm sure it's possible, but not from what I've seen or heard," one prominent NXT talent told Fightful. Quote, "I don't think he would get a job back after everything that's happened. I honestly don't think it's true, but I'm not there anymore, so I don't know. But I've never heard of someone not in the company chilling at the Performance Center unless they were in talks to sign or is signing officially," said a main roster talent. Another talent said they were at the WWE PC throughout Monday, not only didn't see him, but didn't hear of him being there either. They clarified and said the PC is 2 buildings and noted they were there all day and hadn't seen or heard anything. Quote, would I put it past him just to randomly show up at like 7 p.m. during the production meeting? No, I would not, they said. And one other NXT talent said they'd not seen him despite being there every day. Finally, another talent echoed the sentiments that Fightful had heard universally from talent. Quote, I have not seen him nor heard that name in some time. That would surprise me, honestly, they said. Now, thus far, Fightful say they have no confirmation of the Valkyrie Dream being around the Performance Center, so if that's indeed happening, it's being kept away from talent. Fightful have yet to hear back from coaches on the situation, but obviously, if there's an update, we'll let you know if indeed anything else does get released. They have reached out to WWE in an official capacity, but they said they didn't have any information on that situation as well. Could you see any possibility of the Valkyrie Dream possibly returning to WWE after everything that's happened regarding him? Let me know your predictions and thoughts about that as well. Finally, a bit of an update when it comes to Triple H and Vince McMahon and WWE Creative. Rumors began to emerge yesterday, suggesting that Paul Triple H Levesque is fully in control of WWE Creative following the formation of TKO Group Holdings. In this scenario, it was said that Vince McMahon still retains a position on the board, but is no longer submitting last-minute creative changes to Raw and SmackDown. On today's Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer shared what he's heard regarding the creative situation in WWE. McMahon has reportedly, quote, backed off the company's creative. However, that is only for the time being, and McMahon still retains the power to change things if he desires. As of now, though, the creative direction is said to almost entirely be set by Levesque. Meltzer stated he was unsure why exactly McMahon seems to have chosen to take a step back willingly, as he has expressed no desire to do that in the past. In fact, McMahon pushed hard to return to the company in wake of his retirement last year, and for a period of time was said to be making a number of creative changes to WWE shows. While the details are not yet clear, McMahon is currently under investigation by the federal government. The investigation is likely diving into alleged, quote, hush money payments made by McMahon to several women previously employed by WWE. Several months after the news of the scandal first broke, McMahon stepped down as WWE CEO and soon announced after his retirement. Earlier this year, however, McMahon shockingly reappointed himself to the board, quickly changing the rules to allow himself to become the company's executive chairman. McMahon then presided over the merger between WWE and UFC under the Endeavor umbrella, which was finalized, of course, last month. But there you go, guys. The latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right-hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.